For the continuing story of the podcast that will not go away, it's Guys, Games, and Beer at GameholeCon. And I'm Larry, and I'm with
Tom with Guys, Games, and Beer. It's GameholeCon 2025. You've watched a few great interviews already this weekend. We got a whole lot more content coming up, so stay tuned. But we are here with somebody very special this evening. So before he introduces himself, I saw what he was doing yesterday, and this really caught my eye, Larry. I kind of love this whole thing. We are here with
Scott Plaskett, the founder of Trinamyk fantasy role-playing game.
Okay, so Scott, I got a chance to meet with you yesterday. You actually got a chance to show me what you're up to. Explain what you are up to.
So 8 years of homebrew and gameplay. I created this fantasy role-playing game, just kind of eliminating all the rules and then creating from scratch. So it's a 3-class system where people get to create a stylization and concept to flush out from the very beginning.
So here's what I like what Scott's doing right now. So he's got two things he's doing to promote this particular game right now. I love what you did with your character class creation. So he literally has an app that does everything you need to do for character class creation. Explain your app a little bit.
Yeah, so the app is on the main page of my website. And what you're going to end up doing in the system is you choose 1 of 7 as a base class that provides the core of your character. And there were the original 4 classes that were available. And I said, well, why not have adrenaline, mental powers, and nature spells as just a core function for anybody to choose? And then afterwards, you get to choose 2 secondary classes from 4 different groups or playing OSR simple. And then this further stylizes and mechanics your character to really flesh out what you want to play and be.
so so the app's a helper, right? So it's not the game itself; it's a helper.
Yeah, absolutely. The app is just a tool. There are books. This is a tabletop role-playing game.
Okay.
But the app really brings the character together in a unique way for all the different combinations.
So, is this set in a known world or a world you made it up and flushed out?
So the world of Medievad is my own world.
Okay.
It's set up with a hand-painted 5-foot by 7-foot map. There's only about 15% of it that I actually built 4 campaigns in. This was the intent to expand on over time, but also where the campaigns are at is every game master and player, there's open space in between the different sovereigns, tribes, or communities so that people can create what they want and inject in the world themselves without it colliding or having an intersection that would be inappropriate.
So obviously there's the rule set, but it sounds like you created campaigns that could be followed.
Yeah, absolutely. The campaigns ultimately have actually 4 to 6 BBEGs. The big bad evil guys that players can end up floating in and out of to different
Larry
ones.
like that one.
So they can choose like, oh, we want to go after somebody politically or militarily, or you know what, just want to go treasure hunt. So you can flow in and out to move where you want to be.
You have a big nose. Oh.
Yeah, right.
Really, Larry? Really? Larry might be a bit obsessed with that. All right. So I want to go back to what you talked about with character classes and character development. How many possible combinations? I loved this little factoid you told me.
All right. So this is a challenge for everybody. You should be able to go on this app and within 3 to 5 minutes, actually come up with a fun concept that you could play out. However, when you choose 1 of 7 and 2 of 60 different possible combinations, you have quickly chosen from over 12,000 possible classes.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When you said it, so his pitch to me.
I thought I heard 3 to start with. Oh, no.
Yeah. No, dude. So his pitch to me with this will only take you 3 minutes, and he was right. I created my characters, was ready to go within 3 minutes, and they flushed out very nicely. I mean, the character setup is really very good for this.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I mean, I looked at classes that existed in other systems. I looked at TV, movies, and books, and then just said, what can I create into a class? And so some of these things are a reflection, a resemblance of other classes and systems out there, but I created ones that nobody else has done. So I looked at Conan the Barbarian and Arnold, going to the snake cultist. And so the snake cultist turned a snake into an arrow snake. So I said, wait a second, why can't we have a dogmatic cleric class that chooses to follow the snake god instead of others, and then they can choose these abilities. So now they can choose the ability to turn a snake into an arrow snake or an arrow into a snake arrow, and then poison at distance.
Which is awesome. So, again, really liked that. It was intuitive. When you told me 3 minutes, you literally meant I was a little under 3 minutes because I'm kind of familiar with what, but it was smooth as silk. So, but something more to the point. This is an app you developed yourself.
Oh, well, so kind of.
Okay.
I actually hired somebody. I have some training and background in CS, but
All
I actually
right.
hired somebody to start it and do the concept builder, which was just choosing the classes.
Right.
And then I just looked at it and said, well, I've got time and I know how to code this. So I ended up coding the whole build portion, was the next part you saw, which shows not your character sheet, but the options of how that character class came together for its armor, weapons, spells, etc.
Right.
So, right now is this at a physical book form, or are you at like it's online and you download and then print out, or what? Where's this game sitting at as far as if a person wanted to pick up a copy and get involved and use this system?
Okay, well, first, my game launch isn't starting until mid-March through June. I do have books available right now for review. I don't know if I'll end up going the PDF route or not. I mean, people do like that, so I'm just trying to decide.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Because space is limited,
Yeah.
Larry's got this room full of games. I freaking have a room full of games. Sometimes PDFs aren't bad, okay?
Which is true, but mine's tan, and so it'll stand out. And, like, it's one of the coolest ones. Like, why would you not want
beautiful,
this,
man.
right? Like,
Okay. You might have gotten me on that one,
did I
all
talk
right?
to you about the Mamba Strike, which is very quick? To choose from mistake, the attack of opportunity? I think I'm going to take one right now.
Okay, you got me on that. You got me on that.
Yeah, no, it's a very valid point. So, like, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So I'm looking at these different things, right?
Yeah.
But I'm here at conventions because I wanted to go into crowdfunding and pre-sales with board game shops to support the game retailer community. And so I have books actually people can look at, and there are different degrees of completion, like 95%,
Yeah.
or 40 to 70, depends on what I'm showing. But I kind of rush them out because people want to see the classes,
Yeah.
not necessarily all the other content.
Oh, heck yes.
Well, I mean, do you have at this point? Do you have some artwork of your world?
Oh, they do.
Yeah, so look, I'm artwork heavy. This was an issue for some people because I came out as an indie developer, even though 8 years of this home play was just for fun, and I used AI concept art, and so I needed people to know that, hey, they like my system where I'm going. But now I've got 6 artists. All my base classes on the app are already converted into custom art.
Yeah.
And then a lot more has been done that are secondaries or even other art like cover art or
Sure.
somewhere else in the books. So yeah, so I'm on that path. I expect all the classes to basically be done by January 1st, if not just after. And then when I go to game launch, I'm hoping all of it's done. But when I go to print, nothing will be AI.
Okay, so here's the thing. Your artists are doing a great job. So,
Thank you.
And it's quite clear where his artists pick up and the AI is still in there. But they're following your theme very nicely. So the problem is when you guys get multiple artists, very often it gets scattered. Everybody has their own style, blah, blah, blah. No, your guys all seem to be kind of picking up on each other, what they're doing, and it really hangs together nicely.
Thank you. There are some nuances to their different styles, but I just basically said, look, I'm going to hire you for 1 or 2, and if you don't fit the vibe in some way, then I'm sorry, just we won't be able to work together. But I came across one, and their style was a little bit too different. I said, but you know what? You're going to fit great with my almighties, the gods, goddesses, and deities, because they have a little bit less of a real feel and a little bit more of that, like, who or what is this?
You know what's funny, about that? There was always that I think it was on the cover in D&D. It's very classic.
The original
Well, that's
cover.
Two.
Two,
You know,
yeah.
There was a lot of art in that.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the either the monster manual or friend or foe, and it had this like goblin type creature on it.
That would
and
be-
it was such a different art
That would
style.
be
than
Monster Manual.
And it was
Manual.
such a different art style than
Friend
any
or foe
that-
had the what? No, the guy with the sword.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
you were talking
that
about
guy.
that
He's
goblin?
he's orc-like. He's
Tough to say.
he's-
It was such a different.
It was such a different
art.
It was
style.
like a completely different feel.
Oh God, yes. Oh
You
God,
know,
yeah.
it
That
was
was friend or foe.
It was a little dystonic.
It
you
really
know?
was. No, but this is part of what you think about in the game is how does it hang together? And it's not bad to change it up, but you do want that unified. This is the feel and look we're going for. All right, so we don't go too terribly long. So you did the 3 minutes. So talk a little more about that character creation.
Which is not this interview.
yeah, well,
It's not 3 minutes.
Reining it in. Reining it in. Tell me about the app.
So the character creation app is in 2 of 5 stages right now. At first, it was just the concept builder. You just look at the classes, and now it's got that first setup, so you can write to see how the build goes. I mean, eventually, I'll work toward you actually being able to flesh out your choices.
Right.
For spells, your choices for skills and abilities you want to play with. But the flip is you can play a simple OSR style character, not have that. But for the app itself, though, I'm not sure if I'm going to do more of it as I work toward game launch, because I might wait, because the focus needs to be more on reaching out to people to say, hey, this is what gameplay is, getting the books themselves done. And then look, I'm all by myself, right? So
He's
I have
a
to take care of
one-man
the
band.
marketing. I have to do all the driving. I get tired. My dog's got to go out and pee. You're like, this is tough. My life is not that easy on the road. I've done 17 cons since February.
Woo! Oh, and you thought ours were tough, Larry.
We don't want to do more than 8.
No, we're looking like we did like 12 cons last year. That's too many for the whole year. You've done 17
Wow.
since February.
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
really believe in what I'm doing, and a lot of people are seeing that, and they're liking, where I'm headed with it. And so it turns into like, where are people out for the game launch? And then, hey, there's a time to sit and say, hey, am I going to come out with their own BTT because, things are going so great?
Right.
What degree of the app development? Can I hire somebody else to finish it out? So, a lot of questions I don't really know about for that.
All right.
All right.
So wait a minute. So now we've talked about character creation and the fact that you are, again, you didn't create. You're not doing all the app work, but you're doing a ton of it. So let's talk a little about the gameplay, because you had some interesting mechanics that I really kind of got into when we talked about this. So I actually got a chance to kind of take a look at his app for character creation, and then we did like an example. What would happen if?
So, technically, I'm an infinite skill set, and yet somebody can sit and play and have no skills. And so we'll just do a short run of that, right? So, how about we do it now?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Okay.
right, Larry, you're in 2.
Okay. Are you in the woods or the city?
Larry, you call it.
Woods.
You're in the woods. You're 30 feet up in the trees, along with the rest of the party.
All right.
A huge tremor is happening. The trees are shaking violently. I call for a dexterity check. So a person that plays OSR, very simple, knows what to look for, or even as little there is, they'll eventually get there and find it. However, you might say to me, well, hey, can I use acrobatics? And so I challenge you to say, well, how are you going to use acrobatics? So you would say to me, oh, well, I'm going to grab one branch to the next, kind of swing like vines, until I can jump onto and somersault onto a branch and like hug onto the tree.
I would probably like George or something.
George of the Jungle.
Yeah, not if you have too much beer, though, that might be tough. I'm going to have to, like,
Now
bring
you
back
got a
for that.
negative beer count.
But now, one, I'm a D100 system, right? So this gives us more opportunities. So I am actually so you'd be +5 for your acrobatics. So I'm like, okay, that sounds great. But then you would turn around and say to me, well, wait a
Right.
second. I took acrobatics +3, but I took balance +10. I'm like, you know what? Absolutely, you can balance on a tree branch, and then so you're +10. And then the person next to you would end up saying, well, I only took balance, but I got +15. Well, that's great. But you know what? Everyone fails their skill checks.
Yeah.
So you're going to take falling damage. You don't want that. So the people with acrobatics are like, no, hey, can we tumble and bounce off the branches and on the ground to mitigate damage? Yeah, make your rolls.
Yeah.
Now, guess who's screwed? The person who niched and said, hey, I just want to be balanced. All three of you paid the same cost for your skill set. Are you going to be broad, hybrid, or niche? And then the OSR person finally learned how to play. Figured out something new and said, can I take wrestling? And I say to him, well, wrestling's pretty cool, but maybe we just call it grappling, because that's a little more broad use.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's cool. I'll take grappling. And so I'm like, okay, I just have to decide if that's broad or if that's niche. So, so I could give them athletics +3,
Right.
and then say, well, your wrestling's +10. So And we're like, well, wait a second, how do you use grappling when you're flying? Well, you grapple a tree branch. Like,
Right.
why can't we grapple
Right.
something else? It does not have to be a
It
humanoid.
doesn't have to be a person. Yeah.
And that's it. That's how we can actually, once we
Yeah.
have that agreement, that,
Yeah.
hey, this is viable, because when you come to me the next campaign, Tom,
Right.
and you say, can I do underwater basket weaving? I'm like, you're in a desert. That
Oh,
may not
on.
come up.
But I still might want to do it.
You're right. And so then I just say, hey, wait a minute. You know what? How about we call it weaving? You're like, weaving. I don't really want to weave anything other than a basket. And I'm like,
Underwater.
well, exactly. And those call it crafting, though.
Okay.
So it's called
I remember
crafting.
that. It's
You can
called
make a small
crafting.
box.
Yeah.
You can make maybe a wooden key, but a simple key. You can still do your basket underwater when you come across it. And if you really decide you want to, you can still weave something that's silk or cloth. You know?
Right.
But you never know what he might want to wear.
Silk loincloths only, okay?
Oh,
I'm saying right now.
Silk loincloths only?
Loincloth.
Oh, silk loincloths.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
so nice.
Nice. Do you have to pay him in beer for that? Or ale?
Yeah, I think so.
So, but see, so that's kind of an example. I love what you've done with that as far as kind of stretching things out a little bit for the skill classes and so on. So,
Thank you. And on YouTube, I discuss these things in like 5 to 7 minute videos. But yeah, it's very intuitive and flowing. And so when I went to my homebrew and I shelved all the rules, I just looked at people for character classes and how we went to play and say, well, how do you want to play? How do you want your character to be?
yeah.
And then I gave these frameworks, and then over time, I just rolled this into and had a very solid modular style system where people could add what they want and remove what they don't want.
So, again, looking at it yesterday, solid. Everything hangs together nicely. I like the whole concept. I like the artwork you're beginning to come up with. It hangs together very nicely. All right, so tell people where they can find this now.
So if you go to www.trinamyk.com,
Links below.
that's trinamyk.com, you can actually go there and look at the events that I'm going to be at. So you can try to find me at a convention, catch a demo, or just talk with me about the system. I'll field some emails. I really got to get Discord going. I got me and a friend.
Dude, you really need to get Discord
I
going.
know, but
Yes,
social media
yes,
to do,
you do.
right? And it's one thing I'm most unfamiliar with, but you know, it takes a few people to start that ball rolling.
Tell me
as
about
well.
that. Tell me about that. So, check that out. Look at his Discord. Links will be below in the channel. Larry, where are we at?
We're at GameholeCon 2025, and we're going to have more interviews throughout the weekend.
And
So
tonight,
look forward
Larry. We're
to
not even
those.
done tonight yet.
Oh, yeah, we're not even done tonight.
All right. More interviews coming up tonight, people. Check
Thank
us
you
out.
for your time.
Hey, thank you.
We have Scott. It has been an absolute pleasure hanging out tonight. Check out the links below. Check out what he's coming up with. Again, we do a lot of these, so we love ingenuity like yours. All right.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right, guys. We'll all talk to you later. Bye.